We really gotta watch, like, what we do, what we say, how we do it, and when we do it. Like, we gotta be leaders.
What's up with it, RIZZLE fam? Today, we unfortunately have to discuss what exactly went down surrounding the tragic and untimely passing of JayDaYoung's. There was a whole lot of misinformation going around when this whole thing happened, but now it seems like the whole thing is more or less ironed out. We're gonna get into the man himself, who he was, but also the upsetting circumstances surrounding his death. We'll also dive into what his family had to say about his passing, and even what his ops had to say about everything after he was gone. You're not gonna want to miss this one. Jay, who was born Javorius Tykies Scott in Bogalusa, Louisiana back in 1998. Not too much is known about his early life, you know, like before he blew up as a rapper, but we do know that he began taking his music seriously around the age of 18. At that time, he dropped out of high school and decided to pursue the rap game full time. He doesn't actually have a public criminal record before he actually decided to make the whole rap thing a career, but if he was running with the people he was allegedly running with, it would only make sense that he had gotten into that life without the authorities hearing about it. Jay finally rose to some degree of fame back in 2017 when he released Rough Way, which included the track Interstate. Interstate quickly garnered over 4 million views and got to be a pretty big name in his area. In fact, people outside Louisiana quickly began to take notice because he was considered for the 2018 XXL freshman list, which is always a big deal even if the people featured don't necessarily go on to superstardom. He continued releasing mixtapes in 2017, featuring the likes of NBA 3-3 and FG Famous. He for real started popping off when he released 23 though. The track Elimination got him millions of listens on Spotify and was even given a genius breakdown video for the track. After that, he released Forever 23, which included Thought Thought and Purge. Both of those tracks also managed to break 10 million on Spotify, and at this point, people all around the world heard of Jay. It was also his first project to chart, reaching number 86 on the Billboard Hot 200 chart and number 37 on the Hip Hop R&B chart. At this point, homie was doing numbers and there was no way he wasn't about to become a major player in the rap game, especially locally. That's why it only makes sense that when in 2019 he released the project Endless Pain, which included the tracks Repo and War Ready, both once again getting millions of views on SoundCloud. Once again, homie made the charts. He got to number 70 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 37 on the Hip Hop R&B charts. It caught the attention of infamous Louisiana rapper Young and Ace, who decided to pick him up for a collab mixtape called Can't Speak On It. As if he hadn't truly hit the big time yet, this project really put him over the top. By the time he put out his next mixtape, Misunderstood, he was able to pull some absolutely gigantic features. YFN Lucci, Boosie, and Lil Durk all showed up at the studio to get on some tracks with Jay. He's now on his way to hitting the mainstream, and he wasn't even halfway through his 20s yet. Unfortunately, this time was also plagued with run-ins with the law. His first major crime took place in May of 2019 when he was pulled over by the cops. The Highway Patrol in Gadsden County, Florida, decided they were going to stop him, and they found a whole lot of something to smoke on and a bunch of pills. And he was released on bail for $2,500 and never actually ended up having to stand trial. One of the homies in the car also had a weapon on him, so almost everyone in the car ended up facing some kind of charges. About a year later, in March of 2020, he was caught up on some even bigger charges. It's alleged that he had put his hands on a pregnant woman, and as a result, the police busted down the door and began searching the house. While they were digging through Jay's crib, they came across a number of contraband items. They found $24K in cash, a bottle of purple stuff, some pills, and multiple weapons. After searching the house for a little while, they found that Jay had been hiding out in the attic. He was charged for putting his hands on the woman and for the weapons he had in the house. His bail was set at $20K, which he was able to pay. On September 16th of 2021, he was picked up yet again, but this time the situation much graver than before. He was suspected to have a hand in the passing away of Zion Hutchinson. Back in 2020, at a trail ride in Tangipahoa Parish, a firefight that resulted in multiple injuries had broken out. According to authorities, over 100 people had gathered around an altercation that broke out. Multiple people started popping off shots, and by the time the smoke had cleared, Zion Hutchinson had lost his life and 2 other people were injured. The people claimed that the whole fight originally broke out between 2 rival gangs. When the police finally caught up with Jay, they had already arrested around 6 other people in connection with the incident. They booked him into jail and ran him through the system. Of course, it probably didn't help his case that he had already just recently run into other issues with the law. His bond was set at $175K, And just like that, he was able to make bail and was back out on the streets yet again. The very next month, the ATF picked him up and hit him with all new charges for a federal case. In June of 2022, he decided that he was going to play by the rules and plead guilty to a possession of a firearm while under indictment or felony charges, and the judge only ended up giving him time served and a year of release while under supervision. Believe it or not, that's the only time he really ended up serving any of these charges. Since he had just gotten everything squared away, you'd think that things were on the up and up for Jay, right? He could put all that stuff behind him. Well, not quite. On July 27th of 2022, JayDaYoungan was sitting out in front of his house with his father, Kenyatta Scott. A black truck rolled up and 3 men hopped out, thoroughly armed. They started popping off shots. Both Jay and his father tried to run back inside the house, but that's when 2 other guys ran out from next to the house, also with weapons, and started laying down support fire. Jay's dad, Kenyatta, pulled out a weapon of his own and tried to fend off attackers, but it was no use. Kenyatta and Jay were both taken to a nearby hospital, with Kenyatta in stable condition and Jay in critical condition. Kenyatta had only been hit twice in the arm, while Jay sustained about 8 different wounds. Shortly after everything went down, the Bogalusa Police Department took to Facebook to make a post concerning the incident. They said, on Wednesday, July 27, 2022 at 5:50 p.m., Bogalusa Police Department received a call of in 600 block of Superior Avenue. Officers responded and found that 1 victim had been transported by POV to our Lady of the Angels emergency room. Another victim, still on scene, was critically wounded and was treated on scene by EMS, then transported to OLA ER. Their condition cannot be released at this time. While working a chaotic scene at the hospital and working the crime scene on Superior Avenue, another took place in the 800 block of Marshall Richardson Road shortly after 7 p.m. In that case, a vehicle was possibly related to the first. The occupants were not hit. Detectives are also actively working that crime scene. This is a very fluid situation, and the information we release is limited at this time. Our officers are working diligently to identify the subjects responsible for these crimes. We have several outside agencies assisting at this time. Despite the fact that they were pretty unwilling to share any specifics about who the incident involved, they updated the general public shortly after. They announced, "We can now identify the victims as Javorius Scott, aka JayDaYoung'an, and close family member Kenyatta Scott Sr., who we can also confirm that Javorius Scott has died as a result of his injuries. Kenyatta Scott Sr. has been transported to another facility, and we have been told he is in stable condition." Unfortunately, it was apparently the case that the BPD had announced the death of JayDaYoung'an entirely too early. Word traveled fast, and even if it was a misconception, everyone was quick to go along with the narrative that Jay passed away and pretty much that night. His family did their best to correct the rumors without falling apart in the process. His sister was probably the most vocal throughout this whole thing, posting a rant to her story about how all the blogs were trying to paint the story wrong. It said, "I hate you freak ass internet ass and bullshit ass blogs hoes. Stop trying to confirm shit y'all don't fuck know, bullshit ass." After Jay had officially died, his sister honored his memory by making a post about her brother that said, "Javorius, no way they took you from me like this. I'm sick to my stomach. They wanted this. They want to see you like this, bro. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. Sister is so hurt. I literally watched you grow from the ground up with this rap shit. You was the GOAT in my eyes, especially from where we come from, baby. I'm so sorry. Jay, you literally hurt us with this shit, dog. This cannot be life. I got JR and I love you so much. 23 forever, and I'm standing on it." The mother of one of his children had also been having an extremely difficult time coping with the loss of Jay, especially since the child they recently had together also passed away. This really couldn't be more tragic, man. She made a post saying, "Thank God my last words to you were I love you. I hope you know how much though. I'm so hurt. How could you leave me like that? I would have never left you. First Maisie, now you. I don't know how I can keep going. I'm so hurt." While a lot of people were sympathetic or hurt by the loss of Jay, not everyone was upset. In fact, Fulio made a couple posts about him. He said, "Dude used to diss me just to be cool with the ops. Even got them boys' name tatted. Now look," followed by a laugh and cry emoji. Later on, he also made a post saying, "RIP JayDaYoung'an, you'll be missed, LOL." That one was followed by a couple of heart emojis. That being said, Fulio's op, Young and Ace, did get a sleeve tattoo in JayDaYoung'an's honor. In addition to the opinions of families and various celebs, Twitter fans and haters had plenty to say as usual. One fan said, "Jordan B. wished death on JayDaYoung'an, new baby, and the baby died. And now JayDaYoung'an died. The words you speak are so powerful and karma is too real. That's so crazy to me." A bunch of YB fans have also decided that it had something to do with him dissing YB in the past. So I guess guess there's that. But someone called him out by saying, y'all people that putting YB into this, I doubt it has anything to do with YB. Y'all just want beef and diss tracks to come out or 6ix9ine to laugh at him. That's how y'all making the assumptions. Stop dragging names. RIP, bro. What do y'all think about all this though? Kenyatta Scott, Jay's dad, doesn't seem to think it was gang related somehow. Was it or was it not? Who could potentially be responsible for this? Let us know what you think down below in the comments section. And make sure you go on ahead and peep this next video.